Hello, welcome to the Lonely Show. I'm your host, John Malone, and in this episode I've brought on Eric Taylor, who will join us eventually. But as for our guest, she's from she, for our guest, she's from California. Uh, she writes books, and she's been doing this since over the pandemic, and she's known to have written 3,000 words each day, and she's only 14. Now that's quite impressive, if you ask me. Ladies and gentlemen, I give you Shanti Hershenson.
Thank you so much for having me.
You're welcome. So, how's life?
It's pretty good right now. I have a lot of school projects going on, so like balancing that and writing has been chaotic. I've been doing it. I just saw a concert, so I actually didn't write very much last weekend. However, I still managed to kind of do my weekend goal, which was honestly to get to a certain scene in the book I'm writing right now and to write about 3,000 words. So yeah, I'm about to finish another book, and things are looking pretty good.
Wow, great. And besides doing this over the pandemic, how have you got the talent to write that many words, like 3,000 words a day? That's astonishing.
I think it's been kind of just from repeat practice. Honestly, before I really seriously, my writing was not as good as it could have been. I could barely write like 500 words before I got tired, or 1,000. And just from doing it every single day, I was able to write more and more. And as I did that, like the quality of my writing improved. I think I've always been into writing, but it was never really my main focus. But as soon as I made it my main focus, just the improvement was drastic, and it was honestly very surprising for me. It's like I try to do 3,000 words over the weekends whenever I can. Some days I have to do less, some days I have to do more. But it's like just from doing it so much, it's allowed me to kind of just get better.
Wow, impressive. And is this something that you want to do in the future?
100%. I think whether it's teaching writing, writing books, screenwriting, or honestly all of those together, writing is something I want to do in the future. I love writing books. I think I'm probably gonna be that author that's written like so many books that like it's so hard to read them all. I want to be that kind of person when I grow up.
Great. So, Eric, since you've just arrived, is there anything you want to ask Shanti?
Yes, there is. There's one thing. How old are you?
I'm 14.
Uh, oh, really? Wait,
Yeah.
really?
Yeah, Eric, I told you she was 14. I was surprised when
Oh
she
yeah.
started talking. Yeah,
Oh yeah, right. You did tell me that. My apologies.
yeah,
Wow. Got 14-year-olds out here writing books and all that.
yeah.
Man,
It's quite impressive, really.
yeah.
So,
Wow. Wow.
yeah, yeah. I'm just as shocked as you are. So, Shanti,
And
what else have you done in your free time?
Well, obviously, when I'm not writing, I like to read, but that's kind of like it's hard to be a writer without liking to read. When I'm not reading or writing, I'm usually hanging out with my friends or my cats. I love cats. They're the inspiration for a lot of my stories. And I spend a lot of time just like playing with them and like hanging out with them and honestly just having a bunch of fun. I also like to skateboard and do free running, which is like parkour. If you don't know what it is. And
Yeah,
yeah, I
outside
kind
the
of consider
parkour.
myself to be athletic. However, I've been tired, so I haven't been able to as much.
Oh, okay, okay,
uh,
cool.
yeah, that's pretty cool. Yeah, and I've heard of yeah. What'd you say before? I'm sorry. Like
Free running.
parkour.
Yeah, parkour,
Yeah,
yeah.
free running. Yeah, yeah. I'm sorry. I'm just a little tired. So it's like from work and all that. But yeah,
Yeah, it happens. We've all been
uh,
there.
yeah. Like I don't know. My mind just stopped out of nowhere. It's like,
Yeah, I know. So, how many books have you written so far?
So that number pretty much changes per month, but right now it's like I think probably a few weeks ago it would have been 14. However, I'm so close to finishing my next novel. I'm just counting it as number 15, and I just finished writing my third poetry book. So that's going to take a while because I probably am going to end up adding more poems than what I initially have. So the number right now is 16. I'm about to start my 17th book, and then my 18th book is going to be a continuation of that. Basically, this all is kind of crazy. My goal is to have 20 books written by the time I turn 15.
Okay, and when do you turn 15?
On October 15th, so in a few months.
Okay,
Wow. All right.
yeah, I'm pretty sure you're gonna beat that 20 milestone for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, shoot. You might even write 30. Shoot.
Yeah, yeah, you need to push yourself. Like this, you have a talent that like, oh man, not many people have. It's incredible what you have. But yeah,
Thank you.
you're welcome. And in general, what kind of books do you write?
Particularly my favorite genre is dystopian. I love writing dystopian novels. I'll start writing books and they'll be completely different. I'll just have to add like this futuristic kind of oppressive society spin to it. That's what the majority of my books are in. My first novel I ever wrote, Biomlock, was an alien invasion dystopian. I've always loved science fiction, and I think that kind of developed into loving dystopian. And I used to be really afraid of aliens, so writing about them was really interesting for me. And that was Biomlock. I have another one that's like a civil war in like the future. And then I have one that's just this really strange, mysterious, kind of not really explained society. And it also takes place in the future after a nuclear war. And the one I have writing now is also dystopian, but it also is kind of with people that are immortal. So they're all dystopian. So, and I actually do have some that aren't. I have a series of novellas that are like in like paranormal fantasy, and of course I have my poetry books. However, the majority of my books, at least the majority of all my novels, are very much dystopian.
Okay, yeah, that's a very good variety of books you've written. That's incredible.
Yeah.
Thank you.
And you said you were afraid of aliens. Like, what were you afraid of particularly? Of probing, or like, what were you afraid of?
When I was a kid, I was really scared that like aliens would abduct me or like take over my school, or that like I don't know, I was just scared of like aliens. I was scared of like, the little green like Martian men for some reason. So I ended up writing about aliens. However, the aliens in Biomlock, they're a lot more human, except they're very tall and they have sharp teeth, and they're if you look at them in the eye, you'll like get really sick and maybe die. So it's like I kind of added a more humanized like spin on aliens, because like who's to say aliens aren't just exactly the same as us? Because like them being like little green like dudes is kind of just strange. But so I made them kind of human. Also added like what if like your friends were actually from another planet and you didn't know it? So I added like all these kinds of different like elements to it to make it kind of scarier, but also a little less scary in a way.
Hmm, great,
Ah, okay.
that's
Pretty
cool.
interesting. Wow. Yeah. Gnarly. You know.
Do you have any pets?
I do. I have cats. They inspire a lot of my story. They're very silly. I hang out with them a lot. I used to have guinea pigs, and those two they were very funny. And they kind of inspire some of my books too. It's like honestly, any animal I've had will make an appearance in my book at some point. Whether it's like they have a character name, or there's like a character that's like an animal that's like basically just them. I always do it. I don't know why. It just animals, I just find animals really interesting a lot, and they make really good characters, especially if they can talk. If you can make like animals talk, it adds a whole new element. However, in a lot of books that obviously won't work.
Hmm. Okay, that's cool.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, it'd be pretty weird if, like, you were writing a serious story and like it was just a talking dog out of nowhere.
Yep.
Hmm. Yep. What's your favorite season?
Favorite season, I gotta say fall, because my birthday's in the fall. However, I do like winter, because holidays and gifts, but I also, I get gifts on my birthday. So I don't know. I think fall, honestly, fall and spring have like the best vibes. And now I'm trying to think like when do my books take place? Usually in like the fall or winter, like whatever is like kind of an interesting season. Yeah.
Cool, cool.
Cool. Yeah, cool.
So, have you done anything? So, have you done anything exciting lately?
I think so. My friend and I actually were putting together a poetry book for teenagers. We just closed submissions in January. However, now we have about over 100, I think it was over 200 actually, come to think of it, submissions to like go through and pick and email people. I've gone through maybe about 20 of them, so there's kind of a long way to go for that, but that's going to happen at some point. And I'm also putting together book signings and kind of events to connect with other readers and writers.
Okay. Wow,
Uh,
you're doing pretty well. You're doing pretty well for yourself. I must say, it's Incredible.
Yeah, I'm
Thank
impressed.
you.
Yeah, I'm impressed. Yeah, I'm impressed. You know, I can kind of see. I can kind of see why. Yeah, you're just doing pretty good. I can kind of see why this is called like this generation is called like alpha. Alpha, pretty much. I can kind of see why. Okay.
Hmm. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, has there been any famous writers you met recently?
Not really. It's like I think I don't know. I don't meet many writers. It's like I know a lot on the internet, but it's like I don't know. I really my biggest dream is like to walk into a bookstore and like one of my favorite authors are there. Like that would be so cool. However, that hasn't happened yet. So, but yeah, I like. There are some people that like to write at my school too. That I guess I could say. I've met some writers recently, but it's like they're not serious about it, which is sad because I think honestly teenagers should be more serious about it if they just want to write a book. Like they should. But I guess I haven't met that many writers recently.
You'll get there. You'll
Well,
get there.
Yeah.
yeah. Well, who is your favorite writer? Like, like, I know you say like your animals are your inspiration, but is there a specific writer that inspires you?
Honestly, it depends. Like, I get inspired by any writer who's written a book because, like, so cool. Now I have, in terms of like favorite authors. So my favorite book is The Perks of Being a Wallflower by Stephen Chbosky. I love how he writes and how he wrote his book because it's just written in like the format of letters, and you don't know who the main character is writing to, but you still like through these letters get to know the main character. My other favorite like series slash authors, I really love just the entire Grishaverse by Leigh Bardugo. Her writing, like honestly, the biggest inspiration is like her writing just improves and like gets so much better from the first book to the very last one in the series that you can like see how much progress like kind of authors make, and it's so cool to read. And it kind of reminds me of myself because like if you take my very first book I published, which is honestly extremely bad and just I've thought about unpublishing it, compared to like the one I'm about to release at the end of the month. It's like the improvement is just insane.
Yeah, well, I can certainly see that.
Yeah, me too. Yeah, me too. Like, how long did it take you to like improve on your on writing books? How long did it take you?
I think I never started improving until I started writing my first novel. Prior to writing Biome Lock, I had written these two novellas with my friends, and the improvement just wasn't there. And I'd published them too. And like as soon as I started writing Biome Lock, honestly, originally the writing was very similar to how those books were. And I kept going. And for context, Biome Lock, the first draft was 800 pages long. It was 250,000 words. And just from the very first sentence to the last, there was so much improvement. Of course, Biome Lock is not that long now. It's not almost 900 pages. Instead, I've actually split it into 3 books. And the first one's out, and already the improvement from that first one to the Odyssey books is insane. But even now, if you look at like my newer books, like The God's Right Hand, which is coming out at the end of the month, the improvement between The God's Right Hand and Biome Lock is even like crazier.
Okay, great. So, is there any other genres in general that you do want to write more books on?
I really want to start writing in middle grade because right now all of my books are young adult or higher. And I kind of want to have something for everyone. Of course, that means I kind of got to step out of my comfort zone and find a new audience. But if I can get some middle grade readers, then when they get older, they'll be able to read my books. And if there are some older people who want to read like less kind of dark, more just funnier kind of stories that still have the exciting elements in them, like then they can read that. So I'm kind of trying to expand my genre to get in a larger readership for when I'm an adult, and I can just keep writing books and just have all these readers just buy them because they read one of my other books from like now.
Okay.
Okay, okay, I like that. You're trying to like please everyone, just
Mm-hmm.
like everyone in your audience. I like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, great. What do you like about being an author?
I like the freedom of it all. Like right now, I self-publish my books via Kindle Direct Publishing, and in doing so, I have complete freedom over what I put in my books and what goes on the covers and just what kind of happens in the story. And I get freedom to kind of make money, but also I'm doing exactly what I love. Like I would write these books even if I didn't make any money. It's like right now I don't even make much. I give a lot of books out for free and discounted just so to gain readers, but it's so fun to write and just to see the characters and the story come to life and to see something go from like this really really tiny document to a book that you can hold in your hand and read with a pretty cover and all.
Great. Yeah. Cool. Cool. And if
Yeah.
you were to actually make money from the books you've written, how much do you think you would make?
So I'm not sure. As an adult, I'm hoping to make enough that I can have a really stable life. I don't know. Amazon is very annoying about seeing my royalties, so I don't know how much I made, but usually I spend more than I should on the covers and the marketing, so all the money I make goes back into um like marketing the books. But I think if you can have, one or two successful books, you can make a living off of it and live a pretty comfortable life. Or you can be really, really famous and make millions of dollars, which, one day maybe.
Yeah, one day. You will
Yeah.
certainly get there.
Thank you.
Yeah, we can get.
You're welcome.
Yeah, I mean, like a first day dream, like you'll definitely get there. Don't worry, just I mean, you're starting young. You'll imagine
Yeah.
what you'll be like when you're an adult.
You got many years ahead of you. You have all the time in the world.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Right.
So, well, what was life for you growing up?
I have a lot of my memories were just writing. I used to see. I don't think I was the best writer as a kid. I think it's all about improvement. However, I have very early memories of trying to write books. These were like little picture books I used to get all the paper and materials for, and like bound together and like write in. I have extremely early memories of that, or just scribbling things. Got to admit, I did not have good handwriting when I was younger. It was extremely hard to actually write sensible things. I still kind of did. I have a whole box of like all the old things I used to write that kind of just completely paved the way for the books I have now. They're legible. They're very strange. I get a good laugh out of them, but pretty much a lot of my childhood was spent making them.
Okay, cool. So,
Yep.
what's the most useful thing you own?
Um, From a writing standpoint, I'd say my computer. Of course, because I can type. I'm trying to think about most useful thing I own.
Okay.
Honestly, it's like my computer because I can write and yeah, my computer.
Yeah. You
Yeah.
you can like if you make any mistakes, you can just like backspace, and yeah, you can just like redo all the mistakes you make, and yeah, you could also like write as much as you want, and then just transfer to a different file. Yeah, it's technology these days are a lot more convenient than it should be.
Yeah.
It's almost frightening.
I'll be honest. I have a computer. I hardly use it. I only use it for simple
Yep.
stuff like
Mhm.
school or whatever. I mainly use my phone.
Yeah,
Yeah.
the phone's honestly maybe more useful than the computer.
Yeah.
Facts.
If you could host a talk show, who would you have on first as your guest?
Good question. I've thought about this too. Probably one of my favorite like authors. Like I honestly think I should start a podcast and just interview authors. So that's like one of my ideas. If not authors, I would have Dan Reynolds from Imagine Dragons on my talk show because I feel like we have a lot in common, and I think we could talk about writing even though he writes songs.
Okay. Yeah, that's
Okay.
yeah, I like that. And as being
Yeah.
yes. Has being an author always been a dream job of yours that you want to do like forever and ever and ever?
Technically yes,
Well,
but it was more something I thought I would do along with another job, and it was like, maybe if I'm older and I have the time and the skills to do it, I'll write like a book or two and maybe publish it if it's good enough. And I thought, maybe I'm in my 30s or 40s, like that would be cool, but that's not something you can do. Like that was my mindset, and that was honestly just from like fourth grade. I didn't really have a teacher who believed in me, and it kind of made me think like I was less and I couldn't do this and I wasn't a good writer. So my mindset for a bit was, maybe if you're good enough when you're an adult in like 40 years or something, write a comic book and that'll be good enough. I can't draw, so I don't know why I thought I should just write a graphic novel. I just kind of thought it's easier. It's not really. They're different. However, considering the amount of books I have now, something tells me I think I'll be able to write a book as an adult. I think. I'm not sure, but
Okay, that's cool.
yeah. And as for the teacher thing, I don't know why you become a teacher and you're not encouraging your kids.
yeah,
I get that.
I've had Oh, I had a math teacher in 7th grade who told me I was never going to be a writer. Problem with that is that was already when I had published some books, so the unencouragement was kind of off, but it was just not great.
Well,
Yeah, he's
you
probably
proved
just
him or her
miserable with the
wrong.
fact that he's
Yep.
right. He's probably just miserable with the fact. Yeah, that
Yeah,
teacher was probably just miserable. That's pretty much it.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. We could all be like that, but what's important that you stay positive and just move on, because
Yeah.
yeah, we got other things going on in our lives, don't we?
Mhm.
Cool. So, what were the funniest moments you've had in your life?
Funniest moments? There was a time, I don't know why I find this so funny because it's just embarrassing, but for context, in elementary school, every Monday we would have school assemblies, and the school assemblies would be with the entire school, all the teachers, just everyone in the campus. And it was Monday morning, and it just so happened that I was late to school, so I already had to kind of arrive in and find my class and walk across in front of everyone. But I had like one of those roller backpacks, which makes it even more embarrassing, yet funnier. And it caught on my foot, and I tripped in front of the entire school. And I don't know why I think it's so funny because it's just embarrassing, but I laugh about it a lot.
Oh my gosh. Oh man, how unfortunate.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, that's really unfortunate.
Yeah. So, what kind of music do you listen to?
I listen to a variety of things. Particularly, I like to listen to what fits what I'm currently writing. So especially, even like when I'm not writing, I just listen to the kinds of music that I can like kind of connect to my books. I listen to a lot of pop music and a lot of like EDM music. I also really like Imagine Dragons, so I listen to a lot of Imagine Dragons, and I also like Tom Odell. So I listen, and he makes especially, I don't know if you know who he is or not, but he makes a lot of like kind of sadder songs. Whenever I'm writing a sad song, I always put on Another Love by Tom Odell, and a lot of my scenes have been written in that song. I think it makes them sadder.
Okay. Okay, that's
Mhm.
interesting.
Ah, okay. Yeah, love sad songs.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah, absolutely. Where do you see yourself 30 years from now?
30 years from now, I hope to see myself in a sprawling mansion with a lot of like a massive library and a lot of books as like a famous author, and or teaching a class to help younger people write. Actually, that's one of the things I hope to do,
Hold on.
and be like this like old professor teaching people to write.
Okay, great.
Mhm.
So, if you had to choose between skydiving, bungee jumping, or scuba diving, which one would you choose?
Hmm. I'd say I want to say skydiving because skydiving just sounds really fun. Also sounds absolutely terrifying, but bungee jumping sounds worse, so I'm gonna remove that one. Honestly, scuba diving. Like,
Okay.
so I like sea animals. I used to want to be a marine biologist besides an author, so I guess scuba diving.
Oh, that's great. Great. What is your biggest regret in life?
Hmm. Honestly, not believing myself when I was younger and not believing that I could write a book, and it's not believing I could complete it and not believing I could publish one. Because I think I could have had so many more books by now, and I could have already been really successful by now if I just believed in myself a little more when I was younger.
Yeah, but the important thing is you start now than later.
Yeah.
Seize the moment where you have the opportunity. That's what I always say.
Yep.
So, what was the best prank you pulled on someone?
Hmm. I'm trying to think of a good one. I've done a lot of pranks on my sister. I have a twin sister. Um, Honestly, it's very cliche, hiding under the bed and grabbing her foot. The reaction's always so funny. Or just honestly, this is awful, but making a new Snapchat account and just sending my sister our address works every time. Um, but yeah, like I have a lot of malicious pranks.
Okay, okay. uh, if you had to get rid of a holiday, which one would you get rid of?
Hmm. Honestly, timing's pretty good here or not. St. Patrick's Day. Just because I don't know, I don't really like the color green, so being forced to wear green to school really isn't that fun.
Okay. Fair point.
And there's no candy involved, so
Okay. Ah, yes. The
yeah.
candy. The candy is great.
Mhm.
Bueno. What else? What else do you do in your free time?
Honestly, just a lot of. I like to play video games with my friends. So usually, what I try to do is a lot of just connecting with friends because sometimes like I don't get to do that much when I'm just sitting down at my computer like writing all the time. So when I'm not writing, I try to talk to my friends. I'll go on FaceTime with them. Sometimes I'll play video games with them like Minecraft, and I like to, of course, connect with my sister. So I'll play Minecraft with my sister a lot, and it's usually really fun. We usually start screaming at our computers, which again actually is pretty fun.
Okay. Great. What is the best pair of shoes you own?
Hmm. I have rainbow Crocs. I actually wore them to school today. They're pretty comfortable and they're just pretty and they look funny. So,
Okay.
rainbow Crocs.
Oh, great. How often do you stay up past 3 a.m.?
Not often. I don't know if I was about to say I don't know if I ever have, but like a few weeks ago, that's like the only time I've actually done that is at a sleepover with my friends. We went to bed at like 4 in the morning.
Okay. Cool. Have you ever saved anyone's life?
I'm not sure. I doubt that.
Okay. What was the stupidest joke you've ever heard?
Honestly, a lot of like these like dark humor ones that are just like honestly, actually no, anything my seventh grade math teacher who was very unsupportive used to joke by just insulting people. So it just no one really found it funny. He would just be like, "You're awful," and just think it was funny. So
Oh, why does he even bother?
it was just bad. Just middle school teacher, right? So try to make yourself cool by
Yeah.
bullying kids. Yeah.
No. Uh, no, that's just nasty.
Yeah.
Yeah. Do you like spicy food?
I do. I don't know. I don't know why I do. Can't explain it, but I do.
Okay, great. Well, what kind of spicy food do you like in particular?
Honestly, chips, like any kind of spicy chips, I really love. Just tastes really good. I don't like when my mouth burns, especially when I have like chapped lips and then it just hurts, or when I have a sore throat. But otherwise, it's good.
Yeah. I just eat raw chili peppers every now and then, but yeah, that's the only spicy food I ever like.
Chilies are
I
pretty good.
Yeah, I crave spicy food. Like
Me too.
I'll literally eat an entire chili just for the spice because that's how much I love it. Oh, I
It's
just
good.
love it. Oh yes, absolutely. So, what has been the best period of your life?
Honestly, right now has been the best and worst period of my life because I have a lot of stress with school and everything. However, it's been pretty awesome to have these books and get to do interviews and just to write and talk about books. And yeah, it's been honestly pretty great.
Yeah, I'd say so myself. And that is all we have for this episode. It was great having you here, Shanti, talking about the books you've written, the how you got started, and everything else. It's been very enjoyable indeed.
Thank you so much for having me.
You're welcome. And until next time, stay tuned for more.